Hello everyone, and welcome back. Last time we left Abram standing in Canaan, having just received a monumental promise from God, a promise of a great nation, a great name, and a blessing for all the families of the earth. But faith, as we're about to see, isn't a straight path. It's often tested in the most unexpected ways. Today, we're diving into Genesis chapter 12, starting at verse 10, to witness a moment of crisis, fear, and God's unwavering faithfulness, even when human faith falters. This is the story of Abram in Egypt. But imagine the scene. The promise is still fresh in Abram's mind, but the land around him begins to change. The vibrant green of Canaan fades to a dusty brown. The wind, once a gentle breeze, now kicks up sand, scouring the hills. The crops, which promised a future, wither on their stalks. The wells, sources of life, shrink day by day. A severe famine, a heavy, suffocating shadow, settles over the land God had promised. This wasn't just a bad harvest. It was a crisis of survival that tested the very foundation of God's promise. How could this land sustain a great nation if it couldn't even sustain one family? Abram stands, looking over the barren fields, the weight of his entire camp, his family, and his future on his shoulders. Sarai is beside him, her strength a silent anchor in the storm of uncertainty. Every eye is on Abram. What will he do? He makes a choice, a human choice, driven by the need to survive. He decides to lead his people south, toward Egypt. In a world of drought, Egypt was an oasis, its lifeblood the mighty Nile River, which flowed regardless of the rains. It was a symbol of security, of abundance, a stark contrast to the dying land of Canaan. Abram chose to trust what he could say the life-giving waters of the Nile over, the unseen promise for a land that was currently failing him. The journey begins. Picture the long, slow caravan moving across the arid landscape. Camels groan under the weight of tents and supplies. Servants guide the thirsty livestock. Dust devils dance on the horizon, and the sun beats down relentlessly, turning the sky to molten gold at dusk. Abram walks at the head of this procession, his staff striking the dry earth with each step. He's not just a leader, he's a man wrestling with his decision, praying under his breath as the imposing silhouette of Egypt grows larger. He's walking away from the land of promise and into the heart of a foreign, powerful empire. He is walking into the unknown. As they approach the towering walls and magnificent gates of Egypt, a new fear grips Abram. This isn't the fear of starvation. It's a fear born of human weakness. He turns to his wife, Sarai, and the anxiety in his voice is palpable. He says, "I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but will let you live." Let's pause here. This is a critical moment. Abram, the man chosen by God, the patriarch of faith, is suddenly operating out of fear, not faith. He sees his beautiful wife not just as his partner, but as a potential threat to his own life. His solution is a half-truth, a deception. Please, he begs her, say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake and my life will be spared because of you. It's a plan rooted in self-preservation. He's trying to manipulate the situation to control the outcome in a land where he feels powerless. He's putting Sarai in a position of incredible risk to save his own skin. And Sarai, in this culture, in this moment, agrees. They are a team, even in this flawed plan. Together, they step through the gates, leaving the land of promise behind and entering the court of the most powerful man on earth, armed with a lie. The moment they arrive in Egypt, Abram's fears and predictions start to come true, but not in the way he expected. The beauty of Sarai doesn't go unnoticed. She immediately catches the eye of the Egyptian officials. Whispers follow her through the busy streets. Her elegance and grace are unlike anything they've seen. The news travels fast, reaching the highest levels of power, all the way to Pharaoh himself. Soon, Sarai is not just noticed, she is taken. She is brought into the royal palace, not as a captive, but as a potential wife for Pharaoh. And what about Abram? His plan seems to be working perfectly, because he is believed to be Sarai's brother. Pharaoh heaps wealth upon him. Abram receives flocks of sheep, herds of cattle, donkeys, camels, and male and female servants. He is given riches beyond anything he had in Canaan. On the surface, his deception has paid off. He is safe and he is wealthy. But a heavy silence begins to fall over Pharaoh's palace. While Abram counts his new livestock, something is deeply wrong. An invisible tension fills the opulent halls. God has not been silent. He has not been fooled. He has seen Abram's fear, his lie, and Sarai's predicament. And while Abram was busy protecting himself, God was about to intervene to protect the integrity of his promise. A promise that depended on both Abram and Sarai. Suddenly, and without explanation, disaster strikes. Severe plagues descend upon Pharaoh and his entire household. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They are serious, unexplainable afflictions. Illness sweeps through the palace. Restless nights are filled with turmoil. The prosperity of Pharaoh's court turns to suffering. The gods of Egypt are silent. Their magic and medicine are useless. Pharaoh, the supposed living god on earth, is furious and afraid. He knows this is not natural. This is divine judgment. And somehow he connects it to the arrival of the beautiful Hebrew woman. He summons Abram, and the confrontation is electric. There's no negotiation, no polite inquiry. Pharaoh's voice thunders with accusation. "What is this you have done to me? Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her to be my wife?" The lie is exposed. Abram stands there, speechless. His clever plan has unraveled and brought disaster upon a foreign king. There's nothing for him to say. He has been caught, not by human wisdom, but by divine intervention. Pharaoh's next words are a command. "Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go." Immediately, royal guards escort Abram, Sarai, and all their possessions out of the palace and out of the city. Imagine the scene: Abram and Sarai walking away from the heart of the Egyptian empire. Sarai is unharmed, untouched, but surely shaken by the ordeal. The very people who had admired her beauty now watch as this foreign family is expelled. And they don't leave empty-handed. They leave with all the sheep, cattle, donkeys, and servants that Pharaoh had given Abram. Look at what happened here. Abram made a mistake born of fear. He lied. He put his wife at risk. His plan was a failure from a spiritual perspective. Yet God intervened. He didn't just rescue Sarai, he protected the entire covenant promise. And in a stunning turn of events, God used the consequences of Abram's flawed plan to bless him materially. God turned Abram's mistake into a strange form of protection and provision. He left Egypt far richer than when he arrived. This is a powerful demonstration of God's grace, His ability to work through, and even in spite of, our human failings. The journey back is different from the journey there. The caravan moves north, away from the deceptive security of Egypt, back toward the land of promise. They travel through the Negev desert and continue on until they reach Bethel, the very place between Bethel and Ai, where Abram had first pitched his tent and built an altar when he arrived in Canaan. This is a full circle moment. He returns to the place of his initial worship, his first encounter with God in the promised land. And what does he do? The text says, "There Abram called on the name of the Lord." This act is one of repentance, of rededication, of returning to his source of true security. He had sought life in Egypt, but found it only in God. This story reveals so much about the nature of faith. We see Abram, a man who is imperfect, who can be driven by fear, and who makes serious mistakes. Yet he is still chosen. We see a journey that is uncertain, marked by famine and detours. Yet it is still guided by a divine hand. And above all, we see a promise that is unbreakable. A covenant that does not depend on human perfection, but on God's faithfulness. Abram's story is our story. We all have our Egypt moments, times when we run from uncertainty and trust in our own clever plans out of fear. But this passage shows us a God who pursues us, who protects his promises, and who can turn our greatest mistakes into moments of grace and redirection. He is faithful even when we are not. The story of Abraham has only just begun. His character is still being forged, and his faith is still growing. The wealth he acquired in Egypt will bring its own set of challenges, as we'll see next time. But for now, he is back where he belongs, calling on the name of the Lord. Thank you so much for joining me on this part of the journey through Genesis. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in this incredible saga. See you next time.